I hope I get to see my grandpas someday.
Well, me too.
What's that?
Grandparents.
This is Shirley Jane Black Starkey, and it is April 27th, 2019. We're going to do a little genealogy for her background up to her current state. And let's tell us something about your father's mom and dad. Who were they? And what, if anything, do you know about them?
My father's father was John Black, and I never saw him. He passed away years ago.
Do you know anything about his occupation? Anything about it all?
He was a farmer, I think.
Okay.
And my grandma, Granny Josie, we got to be with her quite a bit.
Okay.
And we got to be with her till when y'all was born, little kids.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you know about your mom's parents?
My mama's parents lived in Marshall, and
Their names were?
Wood, Stella and Hugh Wood.
Hugh, H-U-G-H, Hugh,
Wood.
Stella and Hugh Wood of Morrison. Okay. Your dad's family, parents were, where were they from?
Columbia, Tennessee.
Columbia, Tennessee. The Woods were from Morrison, Tennessee. What do you know about your maternal grandparents? Was he a farmer, a storekeeper? What was he?
I think he was a farmer.
Okay. Alrighty. How did your mom and dad meet? Do you know?
Well, my daddy was working in Columbia. He was real young, and some people that ran a chair factory went to Columbia to take some chairs, and they met Daddy working there, and they brought him back to Marston, and there's where he met Mama. And that man, his name was Robert Dearman. He got Daddy and Mama in church. At the Church of Christ.
Okay.
And my daddy was a song leader back then it was a large church. He was a song director for a while.
Would you tell us about how your father is very talented when it came to building musical instruments and
he could play
playing?
fiddle, guitar, anything, and he could write music.
Yeah.
He made me a xylophone and had all the flat sharps and all the notes on it, and then he wrote the music to teach me how to play it.
And he also had a TV repair shop at one time in Morrison, downtown Morrison.
Yeah, he had a chair factory. And then,
chair factory.
But the best thing he liked was radio and TV repair. And that's what he did till he died.
He did that.
And he made lots of friends. And at his funeral, they didn't have enough room for all the flowers. The funeral home was full.
I don't think we even said his name. His name was?
Herman Black.
Benjamin
Black.
Benjamin Herman?
No, Herman Benjamin Black.
Herman Benjamin Black.
He was named.
When did it? Do you know when he passed away?
Let's see. He was about 4 years old.
Probably about 68.
About 1968, I'd say.
Okay. About your mama, bless her heart, Minnie
Woods
Black. Okay.
Yeah, she was a wonderful person, and she passed away in about 78.
But she always was so loving, always in the kitchen, wasn't she, cooking? Yeah. And
I always afraid somebody would be hungry, try and tend to everybody.
She's very loving, giving.
Yeah.
How many children? She gave birth to 15 children, didn't she?
Yes, 13 lived.
Yeah.
And she loved the last one, she did the first one. Everybody was treated special.
Okay.
So.
Alrighty. So as a little girl, remember all the stories you used to tell about singing out on the porch and stuff?
Yeah.
Well, let's hear some.
Well, I always memorized songs off the Grand Ole Opry when I was little.
On the radio.
And I sat in the swing and sang every day. And I was the only one out. Benny and Lucille went on to school. And I'd sit there and swing. And one day I was swinging, having myself a good time singing, "Won't You Ride in My Little Red Wagon?" And I looked up, and Granny Josie was standing there. The window was open, watching me sing, just smiling. And I ran ahead because I was embarrassed to death.
Oh, my. So you liked singing. That was what you liked to do.
Yeah, I always thought I'd grow up to be a singer, but my brothers didn't like it, and they told Mama to make me shut up.
You had some rascally brothers. You tell some of the funny stories you told Lucille's doll and stuff like that.
The old Christmas when we were small, Lucille was, she.
That's your older sister.
Mm-hmm. She's probably 7 or 8. I don't know. Might have been younger than that. And she got this beautiful doll with a pink coat and cap on, those shoes and socks. It was so pretty. And Benny, it was Christmas and we'd had chicken and dressing. And he saw Daddy kill the chicken with an axe. So he killed her doll.
She came home from school.
He come always home on Christmas Day, and
that's awful. That happened the same day she got it.
He came in the living room and said, "Seal, I killed your doll."
Oh, that's awful. And she cried.
He was real little.
She had a lot of traumatic things. Tell about the chicken.
When we ate her chicken.
Beth had the pet chicken.
She had a pet chicken named Snooky, and Daddy accidentally killed it and didn't know it. I don't guess which one it was. And we was eating it, and she come home and she said, "Y'all," and she went out there and her chicken was missing. She said, "Y'all are eating Snooky." We just kept eating. And she was squalling.
Oh.
You know, tell you about the time I went next door to help my neighbors hang wallpaper.
Tell us. We want to hear a funny story. Go on.
I was about 3 years old, probably, or maybe 4. I wasn't no older than that. And some people moved next door. It's an older man and woman. Their name was Hammer. The last name they had a old maid daughter. And I went over to visit them, and I knocked on the door and they let me in. They making a wallpaper paste on the stove. That's the way you used to do it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that's hanging wallpaper. And I watched and talked to them and questioned them. and the older lady, the lady went and opened the door. She says, "Little girl, I think your mama's calling you." And I went out the door and I didn't hear it, and I come back. I come back and shut the door and stayed. I said, "I don't hear nobody." And I stayed a long time.
Good thing I hear you.
No, I kept saying this.
That's funny. You was the only kid there, or what?
Well, probably William and him and John was probably a baby, and I was out playing by myself, and Lucille Benny's at school.
Remember the story about
Getting the shot?
Yeah, start from the beginning.
Well, they went to school one day.
Who was it?
They used to come to the school to give people their shots.
Let's back up for a minute. You had 13 living. There were 13 living siblings. Name them in order of birth. Let's get that down. You had Lucille, the oldest, right?
Lucille, Benny, me,
Shirley,
Buster,
John Black,
William, Gary, David, Freddie, Peggy, Richard, Roger, Michael.
Michael, I thought Michael was older than Roger.
Michael,
because Roger's the baby, right?
Yeah, Tiny and Michael.
Tiny, Michael, and Roger was the baby, right? Yeah. Okay. So you were still at home, and who was it? Benny and Lucille, the older ones are at school. You were still at home?
That's when I was real little.
Well, I know, but
that's 3 or 4. Yeah, they had to go to school. A little black.
The only two that were older than you, so it had been those two.
Yeah, a little black van come and took them to school back then.
Okay.
And we lived too close to ride the bus. We lived within walking distance. But anyway, they was going to get their shots that day. Nurses came to the school to give you shots then. And they was going to get their shots that day. And the window was open. I was sitting in the swing singing like I always do every day. and I heard a gun go off, and it sounded like a rifle. And I run to the window and said, Mama, I hear Seal Minnie getting her shots.
You weren't especially bright, were you?
Well, I said shots, it's the only kind of shot I need.
Oh, me. Is there any more fun stories from childhood?
Yeah. I helped tend to all the little brothers and sisters. And
you had maternal instincts at an early age. You always said your mom.
I helped wash and iron and clean the house and everything I could. I
walked to the grocery store because you didn't have a refrigerator. So you had to walk to the store. You couldn't keep milk and stuff, right?
Yeah, I walked to the store every day for my mama.
Yeah, every day to get things, didn't you?
Yeah, nobody else wouldn't go but me.
Well,
while I was gone, they tore all my toys up, my playhouse.
Yes, tore your playhouse up. Your xylophone tore it up too.
Yeah, they tore it.
That's a mean boy.
The last doll I had, the last doll I had, I was going to keep it because I was too old to get any more.
Yeah.
And I went somewhere and come back and they killed it.
They didn't ever get any
Okay,
spankings. They
take it
didn't get
off.
no whippings or anything. Did
How'd they kill it?
Mama never did come out of the kitchen. She's always cooking.
How did they kill your doll? They chop its head off or what?
They just took its head off, I think.
It wouldn't go back on, would it?
Yes.
Oh,
but
man.
anyway, I helped take care of everybody.
You
And
got
then I could outrun all of them and outclimb them, all in trees and everything. Sometimes I'd be a tomboy, and then sometime I'd be a girl and play dolls and paper dolls and stuff. When I was
paper
little.
dolls.
Yeah.
You come out catalogs and stuff.
Yeah,
didn't
we
you?
played cowboys and all kind of stuff.
Did you walk to church or what did you do about
Well, we walked to church.
walk to church?
Yeah.
Smart.
Mama didn't go for years.
Well, she's tied down.
Yeah,
wasn't
but she held on to her faith, and then as soon as she
Yeah.
got able, well, she started going back to church every Sunday.
Smart Church of Christ or
Yeah,
Smart Church of Christ?
yeah, but she went to Martian years earlier.
Earlier
But she never
was.
give up her faith. She just
Yeah.
couldn't go.
She had a relationship with the Lord.
Yeah.
Talk to him one-on-one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, are you? What? Do you remember meeting this gentleman over here?
First time I saw him, he was at church showing out.
Thank you, Shirley.
But I
You
was,
were 16. He was 19 when you met.
yeah, but I was real little. I was just a little girl then. And he was.
Oh, it was before you 16.
I was a little girl when I first saw him.
Oh, okay.
Then my friend Laura Ruth
Then she was your best friend,
Williams,
wasn't she?
she took. I spent the night with her. We go to Wednesday night ice cream suppers at church, and that's where I saw Paul. Then he saw me one time when I was in that pageant. He saw me, him and John.
She was in a beauty pageant. She's
And
beautiful.
He's hoping I win and stuff.
Oh.
Anyway, that's what he told me anyway.
Oh.
And then Laura Ruth and somebody brought him to my house. I think it was.
Oh.
And
He didn't get
started
scared
with-
off by those pack of kids.
They came right from the floor, out of the window.
Not that bad, Paul.
They did. They was on the floor. The house was up off the ground.
Wash your feet.
That didn't scare him off. You know he's a keeper. What?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Anyway, we just lived a pretty happy life over
Yeah.
the years.
You got married young, but
Yeah. Had to get away sooner or later.
that's not the only reason you got married.
Got 'em
That's
killed the
not
worst.
the only reason you got
Then I
married.
started tending to Paul.
What year did you get married?
57.
August the 25th,
Yeah,
1957. You were 16. Dad was 19, right?
yeah.
Y'all went down to Georgia to get married? Is that what your
Yeah,
dad
Ringo,
said?
Georgia.
Ringo, Georgia. Okay.
How old does that make you, Grandma?
39.
Oh, I'm just trying to trick you.
The thing is, you already said you were 16 when you got married, and you were married in
He's always trying to
1957.
figure out my age.
So it's just a simple. Oh, I figured this out when I was a kid.
Okay, then you had. Let's talk about your children. Then you had the first one, Paul Jr. And it was in November the 2nd.
November 2nd, 1958.
Okay. What about him? What was he like as a kid?
As he grew up, he was type A.
Very intense, right?
Always bossing other children around.
Very intense, wasn't he?
Yeah, type A.
He wanted everything just perfect,
Yeah,
right?
he's a perfect person.
And
Then Teresa,
I was born on February 10th of
1960.
1960.
She was real stubborn.
Tell about the wax.
And Junior get mad at her and hit her, put her ponytails
About the can of wax.
because she wouldn't play right.
The wax story. You got to tell about the story about the wax. Back in those times, you had to get down on your knees, all fours, and wax the floor, didn't you? Can of wax in a rag, or
Well, that's what we use because it's get better, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
What about that?
remember, she told her to stay off the floor.
Oh yeah, I was using liquid wax then. Was lived in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I said everybody needs to go to the bathroom. Go on now because I'm gonna put wax on the hall and I'll be in there and we can't walk on the
That's
floor
before
for
I
a
was
while.
born, wasn't it? Just Terry and Junior Mike, right?
Yeah, and
Okay.
Very quiet house.
Nice. And I was busy waxing. I looked up and Terry was sneaking on tiptoes across the hall to the bathroom. So I threw the can of wax and hit her in the seat.
And hit her at the bottom.
And she's jumping up and down, squalling right in the living room. It didn't hurt her. It's stubborn as you. But she was cute though.
And she was on National Honor Society.
Yeah, she was real smart.
Always smart. Won a scholarship to nursing
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, she was always doing things for me. She'd get on the bus when I walked to work. We were living in Fraser.
Yeah, Fraser, Memphis.
One time it snowed and she got on the bus and come all the way out there got off the bus and walked to the house to get me to take me to work. And then she got on the bus and went back to school, nursing school.
She walked you to work.
Yeah.
She's thoughtful,
yeah.
wasn't she?
Yeah, she was always real thoughtful.
She
and
used her
everything.
babysitting money to buy things for
Yeah,
me.
that's before she went off to school, I guess.
Yeah, she's had little babysitting money. She was always
Yeah.
spending it on people.
Yeah, she worked full time on that in summer, but she used to, I'd be tired when I come on, my feet would be hurting, and she'd have hamburgers and stuff ready for everybody. Or sometimes she could cook supper. She cooked pork chops and potatoes and stuff. Sometimes, but if she had money, she'd go out and get something where I wouldn't have to cook when I come
I
home.
remember one Easter she bought me this giant stuffed Easter bunny. You
Yeah,
remember that?
she bought you
Bought me toys and candy.
what's that? Dorothy and Toto.
Did she buy me that?
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, she bought you
I didn't know
She spent
that.
all the money on her baby sister.
Well, she was
Because
always
I always told her
generous.
she was assistant mother, because I had so much to do, so she helped raise you.
Was I grateful for that?
No. You want to tell about the ABCs?
Yeah.
One time I was in the kitchen cooking in the office, noise and hollering down the hall, and I turned off the stove, went down there to see what's going on, and Terry was out in the hall and the door was shut, and I said, what's going on? And she said, I was trying to teach Missy the ABCs, and she beat me up, threw me out, and locked the door. And you was inside the door, and you said, leave me alone, I don't want to learn the ABCs.
You got any more GB stories?
Well, we gotta get to Mike first. So
Okay.
Terry is.
I didn't tell about Terry with the red wagon.
Go ahead.
One day, I was cooking, and I looked out, and Terry was going down the street putting a little red wagon. And I
Oh.
said, Terry, you get back here right now. And she's scared I was going to hit her. She come flying down through there and went way on the other side of the utility room and went to the backyard and didn't get close to the house. Because I didn't hit her because I didn't have time. I was cooking.
She knew you'd forget about it later on.
Yeah.
Smart.
She was just, uh,
Oh, and then there comes James Michael Starkey, and that was it was February the 15th of
61.
61. Tell about Mike. Mike, we always call him Mike or Mikey.
Matt was a
Precious, tender
he
heart.
was a real good baby. He never did give nobody no trouble at all.
He's always a sweet
Yeah,
most of the time.
yeah,
He and Junior got into it some, didn't they?
yeah. One time Terry must have done something real mean because he didn't do that to nobody hardly. He had her down one day.
When they were little?
Biting her, and he was shaking all over. He was upset. She must have done something bad to him. Because he never did get mad like that.
He was always a peacekeeper in the family,
Yeah.
wasn't
One
he?
time, Paul and John was working on cars out in the driveway, and I was afraid they'd forget to try the car out and back up over him. He's real little.
Yeah.
I was afraid he'd be behind the car, and I said, why don't you go catch Lisa's duck? Somebody had a big old duck next door.
Neighbor's
A
girl.
big backyard way down, way back. I said, go, and I thought that would take him a long time,
You
you know.
didn't think he could do it.
No, and I thought that'll keep him busy so I can cook. So directly I heard him, Mommy, Mommy. I went to the door and he was standing there with this giant duck in his arms. And showing me he was proud of himself. I didn't think he'd ever catch a duck that big. He come carrying his own.
Oh,
Oh, he was a sight.
he's something else. Remember when he got to be a teenager? Who started calling him the dude?
Paul.
Paul. Remember
I
he
didn't
used to
tell
wear
that.
those Elvis jumpsuits and the stacked heels and had the Elvis sideburns and the black
With
hair.
those fluffy sleeves.
Yeah, from the 70s. And Dad used to call him the dude.
And shiny hair all combed back.
And the girls were all crazy about him. Yeah. And,
Cause he looked like some of the brother down South Memphis.
yeah,
The bell-bottom pants and
yeah. Just that was the disco era, and he had on
Yeah.
all the clothes and everything.
Yeah, and he wanted to be taller, so he had stacked shoes. Oh,
And he became what? Became a policeman.
now he's a policeman.
He's well respected, isn't he?
Yeah,
People love
everybody
him.
loves him. He's real
Yeah.
good. Everybody loves Junior and Terry. Everybody loves you too. Y'all are
Now let's talk about
GB.
let's talk about that momentous occasion.
That what?
Momentous occasion.
This is not a biased interview at all.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
November the 19th, 1964. The bells and whistles going off in the hospital.
We had this beautiful baby girl.
Oh, God.
Even John said that. And John,
John
never
said you was the
bragged
prettiest
on
baby ever
anybody.
saw.
Uncle John Starkey said
And all the
that?
nurses was carrying you around and fixing your hair and playing with you. But the first time I saw you, they brought you in there and I thought you probably belonged to that other woman. She was dark and everything. You was dark complected. And they give you to me, and I thought it'd probably be hers, and you was mine. And so
Thought I'd been
anyway,
switched at birth.
She really arrived kind of like a surprise package.
she was the baby, and Terry helped me raise her. And Terry was just 5 years old.
How much did you pay for her?
Back then, it was pretty good. It was pretty bargain, about a couple of $100 or
Oh,
so.
no, a lot after me. We had insurance, but back when Junior's born, it didn't
Oh,
cost much.
me. Did I cause you a lot of trouble growing up?
No, you was y'all was all good. Y'all was all good.
Nobody had a better family.
One time when you was little, we went to church all the time, every night and everything,
Right.
didn't we? Anyway, one night, I think it's when we was going to revival every night, you was in there taking a bath and you was in there singing. The kitchen was right on the side, I could hear you. You said, I've decided to follow Jesus. You just sang away about following Jesus. I heard you in there. I wish I had a tape of it.
Oh.
We can reenact it.
Anyway, you always followed Jesus.
I tried to.
All y'all's done good.
Well, what else? Is there anything else about?
She wants you to tell her all the embarrassing stories.
Oh, no.
All of them. I want you to tell them all the embarrassing.
No.
We tell how you got to be called, your nickname.
What, John?
GB.
Oh, gosh, I hate that story.
Go ahead.
I won't tell that.
Go on.
No,
go
we want it
on,
all
go
on recording.
Okay. Well, she was the least in the family. She was the last, so she got too big to be a baby anymore. So we started calling her Giant Baby, and then it got to be GB.
I always hated
Well,
that
you was
thing.
wagging her on your hip,
I carried
and her
her.
feet almost touching the ground.
I remember one
Somebody said,
time.
what are you carrying that young'un for? And Shirley said, well, she's just a baby, a giant baby. And that's how that got started. So
Yeah, I carried your mailbox one time. I remember you had a little purple outfit on the seal, got
Do
you.
you remember we used to watch Romper Room together and
I
play
carried
tea?
you all the way to the mailbox and back, and you were nearly dragging the ground.
We had tea parties together. Remember
Yeah.
that? Because other kids were at school. I
Yeah.
was the youngest, so
Yeah,
you got to have a little individual time with me, didn't you?
yeah. I'd be busy, and she'd want me to come have a tea party, and I'd go to her tea party.
And the way you read the Bible to me.
Yeah. Hey, Missy, one time you was in your room, all the little chairs lined up, and all your dolls in different chairs, like playing school. And I heard the office racket, bang, bang, bang. You was wearing all them dolls out with a yardstick. you
Oh,
all
my.
out.
Well,
You played school with a dog one time. On
yeah.
the porch, you was playing school, and you told it to go out to recess, and it didn't go, and you kicked it off the porch.
Oh, I was mean.
And you said, I told you it's recess.
Oh.
You get it with the paws and lead it around,
I
make
was,
it walk.
was trying to teach it things.
You're trying to make people out of it.
I love my dogs. All my dogs have come and gone. I love.
Oh yeah, one time you was off down the street somewhere near
Memphis.
a dog, and the dog catching truck come along, and yours didn't have no collar or nothing.
We was too poor.
Well, you was coming home, so I looked out, there you come carrying that giant dog with its face looking over your shoulder like a baby.
I was scared the dog catcher
And,
man was
so
gonna
that
get it.
dog catcher couldn't get it. You know they wouldn't have hard to get it, and you carrying it like
Well,
that.
I was scared it was gonna get my
It was
dog
peeking over her
baby.
shoulder like babies do when you carry them.
Get my dog baby. I was gonna get my dog baby. And I always dreamed of writing.
Yeah, now she's a writer. She was gonna be always wanted to be a writer. Now she's working on, what novel is this?
This is number 5, the Elks
fifth?
Cove Chronicles.
The 5th novel, and
My number 1 fan.
yeah, so she's really a good writer. I really enjoy
You say
her
driver?
novels as much as anybody's I've read.
Oh,
So
that's
we hope
totally
so-
unbiased,
we hope so.
isn't it?
Hope to get them published here for long.
Yeah, it's my dream. You've backed me up.
Yeah.
You've backed me up in my dream.
Yeah, so
I've been discouraged. You always were in my corner, weren't you, little Shirley? I'm a fan. Okay. You got a whole pack of grandkids. We know Dad talked about some of them. Let's see. He talked about Ethan and Zeddy. To talk about some grandkid stories.
Well,
Whoever comes to mind.
Junior and Debbie, they're wonderful parents. They've got Angela and Nathan, which are very precious, good kids. And Angela's married and to Alan, and they have 2 little girls.
Haley and Autumn.
Yeah, Haley and Autumn, great grandkids. And Nathan's still single. He's got an apartment, and he's
Keeps it neat as a pin,
he's
don't
neat
he?
as a pin. He's learned to cook and everything, take care of
Wow.
his
Yeah.
home, and so he's doing real good. We're proud of him too. And let's see who's next.
Then the next oldest would be Michael Paul. He's
No, that's Hannah and Sarah.
What's not the next oldest?
Michael Paul's the oldest grandkid.
Oh, yeah.
She's going by the
I'm all
kid.
confused now.
She's going by parents.
Mike,
You help me
Michael
out.
was the first grandson.
Okay.
Yeah, he was.
He looked like you, didn't he? Big old blue eyes.
Yeah, he looked like me, and he liked sweet stuff just like me and Mac. Me and Mac and him likes chocolate and all kind of sweets and
And
stuff.
he's always laughing and smiling at
Yeah.
you.
He's real good-hearted and real sweet.
And then you got Brandon.
Yeah, and Brandon's a
Sheriff.
deputy on the sheriff department in Sparta.
He married to Nika.
Married to Nico. They've got he's got a baby and a little boy about 9 years old, I guess.
Matthew Keaton, and the baby's name is Emmett.
The baby's name's Emmett. Yeah,
Emmett, little cute baby Emmett.
yeah.
Okay, and let's see.
Okay, and Jessica.
What you wanting? What you wanting?
Jessica, she's real precious. She's a Christian now, and she's her and Michael them together has raised James and Jonathan, 2 of our great grandkids, and they're doing real well.
Terry's older than I.
They're real
That's the age of the grandkids.
smart in school and stuff on the honor roll. Jonathan is, and James is doing good. We're proud of them, and they say they're Christians. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
The main thing.
Okay, we got Jessica. Jessica's a good mother, loves them babies, don't she, Mom?
Yeah, she loves her
She'd
children.
do anything for them babies. She's
Yeah.
sweet. You got Hannah and Sarah, Terry Mark Sullivan. Terry
Terry.
Mark Sullivan.
Is married to Mark Sullivan. They adopted 2 girls from Eastern India, and one's
Hannah.
named, she named them Bible names, Hannah and Sarah.
Okay.
And Hannah's grown now out of the household,
19.
and
She's 19.
yeah, and Sarah's she homeschooled them. Sarah's a junior, I believe.
Yeah.
She's a junior now.
She likes to cook.
She likes to cook. She said she's going to be a chef. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. And then Melissa J.
Oh, forgot about mine.
Boys, little Zadie. His name's Daniel
Zadie.
Zadie, but we always call him Little Zadie after his grandpa Zadie. And
He works at Nissan.
he works at Nissan, still, and plays music at church and writes songs.
Guitar.
Yeah, plays guitar and writes his own songs, and he's doing real good in church and stuff. And am I supposed to tell about him beating that doll up?
Yeah, if you want to tell about the
I was his teacher in Sunday school when he was small.
With like 10 or 11.
Yeah, I don't know, he wasn't that old, I don't think.
Oh, about
He was a little
9,
boy.
8 or 9. Okay.
Yeah, and he was real mischievous and stuff.
Yeah,
This
he was
little
always
girl-
mischievous. Always
This little
mischievous.
girl bought a doll to school, and she was,
The church, Sunday school.
yeah, she thought it was, she was making us think it was one of those that they train with, and
The child care dolls.
Childcare dolls is activated.
yeah,
They
and
can tell if you abuse it.
activated to tell if you abuse it and all that stuff. Everybody knows that is.
Supposed to be breathing. You're supposed to
Yeah.
check and see who's breathing and all
But
that.
anyway, she wanted to go to the bathroom. While she's gone, little Zeddy got her doll and started choking it and shaking it and, and beating it up. And,
That's
I was a teacher and I got tickled and couldn't make it mine. That was so funny. I laughed and laughed. And I've come to find out it was just a regular doll. It was all that for nothing.
He's trying to get her in trouble. He's
They thought
laughing.
she'd take it back to school and they'd say it was abused.
He's always grinning. He always toys up to something. He's got that one dimple.
Yeah, you can tell
Showing.
when he's up to something.
He's a mess.
He used to shut the closets with people in them up in that big old house.
Yeah, he did that to me.
He is.
And
he's
next
something
was
else.
Ethan. Ethan was always a perfect good boy.
Don't lie.
He wasn't very mischievous.
When
Now let's don't overdo it.
He barely made it. He couldn't breathe when he was born. They got him breathing, and God helped him get him breathing.
Yeah.
Then he had to go to a children's hospital in
Vanderbilt.
Nashville
Yeah.
and stay a few days. And he was in the incubator and everything.
You and
wasn't
Dad took us to go get him. Remember? You and Dad took me
he?
and Daniel down there.
Anyway,
to pick him up.
Paul and myself took Daniel and Missy to Nashville to get him at the hospital. And on the way home, he had never got to be with his mother. He was a few days old. But on the way home, he never did wake up. And she said when they put him to bed that night, he never did wake up for a bottle of nothing. He slept all night long. He was
Yeah.
tickled to be home, even though he was just a few days old. He knew she had to go home without him from the hospital.
That was
And,
awful.
Yeah. Anyway, he always was a perfect kid. I used to keep him when he was little and was never no trouble.
They
So-
make the little insurance signs and stuff.
Yeah, he used to. We worked in the Allstate office, and
Is-
he learned from us. He'd go upstairs. We had a lot of rooms, and put signs on the door.
The office is right there in your backyard.
Yeah, the
behind
office
your
was
big
in the
two-story house.
And he'd go over there and make him an office and make insurance policies with little papers and stuff. And
He's 3 years old.
yeah,
Yeah.
all that stuff.
I had Lego cameras too.
And you leave him by himself, and he never got into anything.
You know, he'd run back and forth to the office, and I'd run over and see about him.
Yeah.
And when he would be eating breakfast, and he'd say, "Grandma, how many more sausages do you have?" Oh, and I played Indians with him,
Oh, but
and
he had a stick horse, didn't he?
yeah, and
Tell him what you used to do. He's
there's a big old
tree.
tree, down there. He said it's a horse, and he wanted me to bring him a bucket of water, and he poured it out and said he drunk it all, and I had to take it some more. It was just a tree.
Ethan.
I couldn't carry the bucket.
Oh.
What was it? Didn't you stick me in a dresser drawer when I was a baby or something?
Oh, one night, Missy, Daniel must have had to go somewhere.
Yeah, I spent
Missy
the night in the
and
big old
little
house.
Zadie slept upstairs.
He stood at that big house.
And our bedroom was downstairs, and I put a pillow in a chest of drawers and made Ethan a little bed, put him beside the bed, and I fed him a mashed up banana because that's supposed to make babies rest good. He ate it up and he went to sleep. And when I got ready to go to bed, and he was so sleepy he wouldn't move, and I thought he was dead. Might be gonna be dead, and I wake up. I shook him and everything, couldn't wake him up, so I put him in the bed with us and let him sleep with us. And he was all right. He was just resting.
But you'd go to the bank with him, a big giant bear in the
Yeah.
car.
I used to take him to the bank with me to make my office deposits, and he'd be sitting in the back seat, and there's this giant stuffed animal twice as big as he was, buckled up in a seat belt.
I used to love wrestling with that thing. Then we put it in the barn and the dogs destroyed it.
And
Wow.
the women in the bank always noticed him. He'd do it, get a lot of attention, you know. with
He
him.
got attention everywhere he went,
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah, I took him to the post office, and he was looking at that slot, wondering what that was, and the post office people come out there and got him, took him back there and showed him all through the post office how everything worked. He was always, yeah. Paul already told about him saying he's from Tennessee, didn't
he?
he?
Yeah, yeah. And he's the director of this wonderful movie.
Cameraman, not really a director.
Yeah, and he's a fine boy, helps out in the business and everything, and we're proud of him, aren't we, Grandpa?
That if
You
you
didn't
want.
ask me what I'm proud of my life.
Oh, that's right. Now, what do you most want us to, what is your legacy? What is your legacy, Mother? What do you want people to remember you by? What are you most proud of in your lives?
I'm most proud of being a wife and mother and homemaker. That's my life.
Most probably the wife of who?
Oh,
What's some of the nicknames you got?
no, let's don't tell that.
Okay.
What?
Wife and mother and That's supposed to, is that what
Yeah.
you want us to remember?
Yeah,
How much you loved us all?
And all the pictures of my little great grandkids and grandkids all over the house, they're my trophies. A lot of people has trophies for other things, but I have trophies. They're my family.
Well, never, we always know how much you love us.
Yeah, and I want them to. Main thing is for them to serve God, be Christians. That's the main thing in life. God sent His Son. They called Him Jesus. He came to love, heal, and forgive. He lived and died to buy my pardon. An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. And then one day I'll cross that river. I'll fight life's fight, no war with pain. Then when death gives way to victory, I'll see the lights of glory, and I'll know He reigns. Because He lives, I can face tomorrow. Because He lives, all fear is gone. Because I know He holds the future, and life is worth the living just because He lives. My voice gave out on me.
See?
Okay.
No, it's just,
What was it?
turn around.